gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the GFreak Speaks podcast, episode number 35 today. If you guys are a sponsor and want to sponsor a podcast, make sure to check me out, okay, at Jacko GFreak. Slide into the DMs, sponsor the podcast. We can sort something out, start, middle, end, shout out, call to action, whatever you guys want. We can negotiate that, get that stuff sorted. But joining us today, ladies and gentlemen, is my boy MILO. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good, Jacko. Yourself? Doing pretty well.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm better now that you're here. We're surrounded by...
I love that.
One of the most talented 2K players in definitely Australia, and arguably the world, because there's only so many slots in the world for that franchise that you're part of, which is fantastic. So,
yeah,
dude, let's start it off with a big question. Who are you today?
My name's MILO. I'm 25 years old from a little country town, Chamberlight, Victoria, Australia, just outside of Melbourne. Basically, I'm a professional NBA2K player. I played for the Detroit Pistons GT last season. Absolutely incredible season. And I was the first NBA2K player from Australia drafted. So it was a pretty good achievement. And now I'm basically like a free agent. So I didn't get drafted in the previous season. So I'm looking to get drafted in the next season upcoming in the NBA2K League.
Dope, man. That's super dope. And I never thought that the 2K League was that big, but it's looking into it since my new job and stuff. I've been looking because we've had previous chats with this and whatnot with sponsorships and all that type of stuff, which we won't get into. But the 2K League's huge, man. It's way bigger than I thought, bro. How did you first get into the whole gaming and then 2K?
Yeah, really. Before that I was playing COD quite a bit, and that was sort of my main game. And then sort of 2K was just a game I'd just jump on, after I play some COD scrims and smash out that, some park. And then really, so it took it a little bit more serious in the 5v5 competitive aspect. And I got a chance to, represent Australia in the APAC Invitational over in Hong Kong about 3-4 years ago when the league first started. I represent Australia. There was people from the Philippines, China, and all that. And then that's when I sort of started to see sort of growth with my brand. And so I just kept on grinding. And then I went to South Korea, represented Australia over there in the next year's APAC Invitational and did quite well and got into a draft pool. And so I missed out 2 years in a row, just getting into that draft pool spot and being one of the only Australians. And then till recently last year, a GM gave me a shot to Pistons GT. I was the 62nd pick. And so it really just became just something just fun, man. Honestly, just playing around, and then I took it quite serious. I was playing every day.
Yep.
And then until I got drafted, and mate, it was incredible. I never felt like that before when I got drafted. It was just an incredible feeling just to represent your country and do something you love. So it was incredible.
So what's the process of actually before I ask you what the feeling is to getting into the draft and getting drafted itself, but what's the process of actually getting into the draft to qualify for that?
Yeah. So. There's quite a few number of ways. There's a combine tryout process that they did a few years back where you load into a game with 10 other players on the court, and they basically evaluate your talent through that. So how many points, rebounds, win percentage, all that sort of stuff. From there, they put the best Australian, New Zealand players and send them over to Hong Kong and China and play against the Philippines, Indonesia, and all that. And then we had scouts from different NBA teams come out and watch those overseas events. From there, you can get draft eligible. So then you're in the draft pool. So a GM or coach can select you from there. And from there, you're in a draft pool of around 100 to 200 people. So you're up against quite a few people with about 60 spots. So that's sort of the main way of getting draft eligible they do for the overseas talent.
Yeah, wow. And so I can imagine that process is pretty rigorous, especially if you have to. You said that you had to actually fly to Hong Kong? Is that correct?
Yeah. So they flew out, the 8 to 10 Australian, New Zealand players.
Yep.
They flew us out and put us in amazing accommodation.
Yeah. Wow.
And then basically they evaluate the talent live in their venue in Hong Kong. So because of the online connection, we can't all play against the Chinese and the Indonesian players. So they group us all together as APAC and play all over there in person with the whole league staff and the whole production team. It's amazing, man. Incredible.
Wow. So you're getting assessed against Australia, New Zealand. China's getting assessed against China and Philippines.
Yep.
And then the best from all those regions, the top 10, will go together. And so we'll say, for example, we have 40 from 30 or 20 players.
Yep.
And then so from that, and you go over to China to fly, to my understanding, then you cut it down to what number?
So then from there, there's about, like 30 players, like you said. And then there's about 6 to 7 draft spots that get selected. So it's pretty, probably around 6, 7, 8. They really depend spots. So it really gets cut down again. So it's really trying to get the best talent out of that into the draft pool. It's a long process, and it's very hard to get into. But man, it's paid off over the years for sure.
Yeah, that's sick as, man. And like the fact that you've got to fly over there and actually try out, it really does simulate the same feeling as it would for any other sports. You know, you've got to fly out, you've got to be the best in your area, then you've got to be the best in your region, and then you've got to be the best in that whole sector, and then you get to go and have a shot to get possibly drafted. So where's the other? So let's say that APAC have 7 to 8 players that qualify for the draft. Where do the other players come from? Where's it majoritarily based? Is it America, or is it come from like EU?
Yeah, so it's out of the 100 players, out of the 100 to 200 players in the draft pool, it's mainly United States, North America.
Yep.
The 20, I'd say about 20 other players are mixed up with EU and APAC. So you're looking at about 3 to 4 Australian, New Zealand players. You're looking at about 3 to 5 to 6 European players, and then maybe a couple Filipino players and Chinese or Indonesian and stuff. So really, it's mainly predominantly North America and Canada. That's literally 90% of it. Shit. And then there's just literally us that is just building up the last 10%. It's tough. It really is. It really is tough. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so let's take us back through that feeling when you were drafted number 62 to the GT Pistons. How was that?
Mate, it was it was an amazing feeling, man. It was incredible because I've been working for this goal for like the last 3 years, and I kept missing out. And so I just I had a good feeling about this year. It was the third year. I played on delay, so I played on North American service from my house. And had a really good game from an ex-player from one of the teams. And that really put my draft stock up, and I was just promoting my brand, everything about my brand and stuff. And I had a good feeling about it. So, I was I got a few mates together that I play with, and, we got a place in the city. And we basically, we woke up the next day, and there was a draft at 11 o'clock, and, we set up all the camera and the film and all that. And when I heard my name, the 60-second pick just before that, about 5 minutes before, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I had an interview with this team, Detroit, so I was like, it could happen, it might not. And I'm sitting there, and my phone literally starts buzzing in my pocket 5 minutes before the pick. And I whip it out, and it's a United States number. So I'm like, holy shit, what is this? And then I unlock it, and he's saying, hey, Milo, do you want to come to Detroit? And I was like, holy, and everyone started screaming and shit, and it was on a loudspeaker, and mate, it was just an incredible feeling. And it was just insane that, it was great that a GM actually took a chance on an international player, because I know there's always, he's I'm literally so far away from everyone else around the world, and it's hard to compete against the United States talent, but, I'm so happy that I got a chance to compete, and absolutely incredible feeling, man. Yeah.
Absolutely. So once you are drafted, what is the process of actually, after that, what is the process? Yeah. So do you fly overseas, pack your bags up and live over there, or how's it work?
Yeah, so pretty much instantly, I was getting my visa sorted. Visas during that COVID period as well was a lot harder to get. So I did get over about a month behind everyone else, same with the rest of the international players. So I had to wait about, an extra month. So I did miss out on a little bit of practice. But pretty much, I was getting all those forms together. And then from there, I was packing a bag, and I was basically over in the States for the next 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, wow.
So I was living in Detroit. So we were based in Detroit. I roomed with one of my, Ramo, his name is, my leader in the league and a legend, basically been in the league the last couple of years. So he was a great mentor for me.
Yep.
So I was, basically just packed my bags, man, and over there and practicing basically, as soon as I got there, really. So, it was incredible.
That's so cool, man. So how much of a tight knit does the NBA2K league have with the actual NBA franchise league itself?
Yeah, so it depends on the organisation, but we got, I got to go to the NBA games. Our team was actually featured up on the billboard. It comes up in the game and stuff. So we were actually quite close with the actual Detroit Pistons itself. There was a lot of protocol because of COVID, and we couldn't really meet a lot of the players just because they had to get tested quite a lot, and they couldn't really have much contact with outside of basically the outside world. Realistically, they were in quite a bubble. Yep. But we did get to do quite a things. I got to shoot on the court and all of that, and so I got to go for a few games. So it was pretty cool in that aspect.
That's sick as, man. It really is cool. I've never been to an NBA game. I've never been overseas at all. But to experience that adrenaline feel of getting drafted and then flying to the States and whatnot, it's like, holy shit, man. Like, this is a reality. Like, it's a big reality hit for you, man. So it was incredible. How did your parents react to that?
They were pretty supportive. My mum was pretty supportive, at least. My dad was sort of like, he was like, oh, why are you spending so much hours on and stuff? But then he sort of understood when I got drafted. But they were pretty stoked that, it was a pretty big achievement, the first Australian to do, get drafted to the league. So they were pretty stoked about that part. But once I went to the airport, they were pretty sad. I think it kicked in once I was actually like going through customs and stuff. Yeah. I think it really kicked into them. So, it was basically like my first time basically moving out of home, really. So, it was a pretty big shock for them. So, but they were pretty proud. So, yeah.
Okay, so prior to that, so you've been doing this for about 3 years for the 2K. You were obviously playing 2K, like from 22 and prior to that?
Yeah.
22 prior to 22 years old. Holy shit, man. Holy shit. What the fuck am I dribbling out right now, dude? Okay, go on. Continue, brother.
So I was basically playing it for, I played it for a while, since I was like 16, 17 years old. Yep. But just not to the standard of, or not to like playing it that much. Just taking it for fun. And then basically in the last couple of years when I actually saw a sort of career path, as soon as I saw that career path, I was like, like in the NBA, they have like international players, that they'll want to expand. I knew they were going to expand globally. So I just knew, I got to get my brand up, be that number one candidate basically for a job. Same thing as a job interview. You want to be that number one candidate. So I was trying to build my brand up for that as soon as I knew they'd be reaching out. Eventually, they want people from all around the world to be a part of the league, and I knew I had the talent, so I just needed to build up my brand. So it's just a matter of time until it happened.
So how difficult is it building a brand whilst based in Australia for an American-based league?
It's such a hard process, honestly, just because the scene, it's not like any other game. It's not like Call of Duty might even seem small, but 2K is quite small in Australia. Like when I was playing over there. Just after the league finished, there was like 300 teams per console. We have right now in our league on PlayStation 5, we have 18 teams. Yep. So that's like with 5 players per team. So we have less than 100 players in the server, where they have like 300 teams per console. So it's very small over here, but we're actually quite talented region. And like when I was in the league, like I proved it over there. And it's just, we're quite a small, because we got obviously low numbers, but it's very hard to build an actual brand, just because, I'm streaming it. If I want them to tune in, they got to be awake at like 6 a.m. in the morning because of the time difference. So it's very, I've got a bit of a fan base here, but to build over there, I just had to keep putting clips out, just had to keep streaming, and then I, got some attention from that region. So, it did take some time, but you just got to work at it basically.
Yep. And what is advice for people that are over here trying to build a 2K brand to then get drafted in North America that you recommend that they do?
Basically it's just gonna, like I just said, it's probably gonna take time. It's just like building up a brand. I think what got me drafted was not just like building my brand, was actually playing against the North Americans. And even though I was so delayed on a 380 ping, I think it was like them seeing me like on that delay and keeping up with them, is they're like, oh, this guy can actually play. And then you can bring a fan base from Australia. So like there's like multiple benefits of it. Yep. But for me, like I'm going to the United States to actually play over there in a few months and actually like compete. Just because, I'm playing on their level, so they'll actually see me play in person. Yep. So that's like the number one thing. Realistically, it's something that you really shouldn't do, because like, they know we can all play, everyone can play the game around the world, but it's really like them seeing you actually play against that talent really is what they want to see, because they know all the players are basically in the United States, so they want to see you play against those players, not the players that you play locally. So that's like the big gap, I feel like.
It justifies a victory over someone that's established over there compared to a person over here who is also probably possibly as talented as them.
As talented,
However,
100%.
they just don't know them,
Yeah.
so they're not as established, and they just don't take it as serious. And a bit of the ego plays
Exactly.
comes into play.
Yeah.
So they're like,
MILO
just beat some fucking random called Nesquik. But who gives a shit about Nesquik? We're all about whoever the hell is the top tier player there. So what's the process of getting back into the league itself? So you had a taste in the league for 8 to 9 months. What's the process now? You've had that bit of a taste.
Yeah, so I was unsuccessful getting drafted this year. It was a bit of a tough process because they actually removed the 6-man out of the league this year. So I was the 6-man coming into Detroit. So basically they removed 24 players out of the league, removing the 6-man spot.
Yeah, wow.
Which was pretty... As an international player, a lot of them do get drafted as that 6th player because they do come in late into the market because of the visa issues. But they got rid of the 6-man this year, so it's a bit of... GMs might think it's a bit risky, mate, taking an international player just because they might not get there in time and then they might have to use a substitute. So it was a bit of a obstacle in the way. But yeah, this year I've just been building up my brand even more and, reaching into sponsorships and stuff like that. And, playing in American tournaments in the last couple of months, which is, boosted up my stock a little bit. But also just, taking that jump and moving to the United States in a few months. And just basically just going full out and playing in all the tournaments there and networking over there is going to be my next step. So basically being undeniable and just, doing everything that I can in my power because, I was the first international player to make the actual playoffs itself. Yep. No one's done that in the 4 years. And, I made a real impact on the position that I don't actually play. So I really, want to get back into league and play the position that I really want to play. So.
Okay. So just a quick question. As a player, you control all the players on the field, but when you
control one player.
Yeah, I was going to say when you play like a 1v1 against a friend on the split screen, you control all the players. So when you actually play with these people, you actually play as one player, and you choose a specific player as well, and you play as them, and go from there. Okay, that's interesting. So do you have to go through the starting lineup of whoever the Detroit Pistons have? Or do you choose whatever players you want?
It's basically, so we have our own custom player where we can get our face scan into it if we wanted to.
Okay. And do you do that?
Surely. However, no, I actually didn't do that, actually.
Oh, no, you should have,
I didn't. I didn't actually do that one, I should have done that. But, you can create it however you like, change the hairstyle, anything like that.
Yep.
And then from there, so we have a point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, same as real basketball. And, you go from there. And then the 6-man that we had last season. Just basically you control that one player on the court. And then you just go from there, really. And usually have lineups, sometimes lineup switches, if something's not working. Or, but most people go into the draft pool as a certain position and then coaches and that know what to draft you off from that.
Okay. Now it makes a little bit more sense because I thought that you possibly controlled the whole team. Yeah. Like the old school split screen, but
like the old school,
Now it makes sense. Now that's a very cool thing. I understand it now. Obviously players, they probably have fatigue turned off or whatever. I don't know. To not have a 6-man.
So there is stamina in the league. So like the point guards have the most, but they also lose the most because they've got the ball in their hand most of the time. But there is sort of fatigue. But, other players on the court don't really get fatigued too much. It's mainly just like the point guard and like the center mainly.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough because they're doing a lot of running up and down. I guess everyone does, but they're handling the ball the most and jumping up and all that type of shit. It's very interesting to me because I don't really know too much about 2K. I've played a little bit. The first and last time I ever played 2K was, I remember I was back in year 10, so we're the same age. So that was back in 2012, and it was 2K12. And it was like the Jay-Z soundtrack and whatnot.
Oh, really?
It was so good.
Yeah.
And we did I think 10 of us had like a live draft. We drafted all these players and stuff. It was the coolest thing I think I've ever seen. I remember I went to school and I'm like, yo, bro, like I went to one of my NBA mates. I'm like, hey, bro, like who do I draft? Like, who do I go for? Like first pick, second pick, all the way up to the 10th or whatever pick. And he's like, yeah, here's the list, bro. Heap these players. Make sure you get them, bro. This one, it was like at the time when Drew Holiday was like a fucking weapon as well.
And
he was just shooting everything, bro. But yeah, it was great. It was honestly so fun. But that was my first time on 2K, and that's all I really know about it. I have not played the game since.
I just couldn't believe that there could be an esport involved in it, but it's pretty cool. It's cool how they've gone from just like a casual game, or at least I took it as a casual, and then it just can be like turned into sort of like Call of Duty, how it's got the Pro League and stuff like that. So it's cool. It's cool.
It's cool that it's all franchised as well. It's established.
Yeah.
It's tied to an established and renowned brand that's been around for years and years. And the fact that you get to associate yourself. Unfortunately, last year or whenever that was with COVID, you couldn't really get that person-to-person connection with the players. But it's very cool that the opportunity is there for yourself to establish yourself with some players and network that way as well, and make some new mates. I know that a lot of Americans do froth Aussies, so they're like, "Oh my god, that Aussie dude, he's so cool, dude." So if you go over there and have a good time and link up with some people and just create some new mates, they'll also vouch for you, like, Milo, great guy, y'all. So you get in there.
They love Aussie. They love Aussie. Yeah.
They love it, bro. Actually, out of curiosity, how many scoops do you do in a Milo? Do you drink Milo?
I do. Actually, had one just before.
Yeah.
I'm more of a. I don't know. Usually about 2. Okay. I reckon 2, sometimes 3. Some people have it with water. I've actually never had it with water. I only have it with straight milk.
Yep.
Why? How do you do your Milo?
Well, I've got a bit of a technique. It also depends on the size. The size. Like my cup is generally like about, I don't know, if you put your hand, like middle finger to the bottom of your palm, that's the rough size of my cup, a little bit. And it's fairly like slimish. But what I do is I actually put 2 to 3 scoops of Milo in, and then I put a little bit of milk in, stir it up real fast, okay? Make sure it's all mixed. And then whilst I'm pouring the milk, I'm stirring at the same time until it comes all the way to the top, and then I pull the spoon out, and then let it fill up to the top, and that's how I have my Milo.
Yeah, right.
Proper technique, mate. There's some serious technique coming in from the GFreak.
I'm gonna try that after.
I have had. So then the milk like changes to like the Milo, the malt flavor. Yeah. But I have had Milo with water because I've had to top it up because I didn't have enough milk sometimes. Yeah. So it was a little bit. You could definitely tell it wasn't as creamy, but it was not too bad. Wouldn't go to it all the time. I don't know who the fuck would just have it with just water. Like, what the fuck?
With just water,
doing, That's some weird shit.
I'll be trying that technique. I will be trying that technique.
I'll have to film it. I'll have to film it and put it out there because that's how the Milo is supposed to be made, bro. I'm telling you, bro. The technique. What's your current technique?
Just literally I chuck it in first.
Yeah.
I do give it a little bit of a stir sometimes. Just depends if I'm in a rush. But mainly just literally tip it in, milk in, and then once the milk's up the top, then I stir it. But that makes sense, actually mixing it first, and then so it's actually getting combined with the milk instead of just dumping the milk on it. And then it's just all slugged up.
Yeah, exactly right, man. And then you're at the top and it spills over the fucking edge. So that's literally why I put I don't know, about an inch of milk, spin it around, make sure it's not stuck to the sides, keep spinning it. Pour it in, stir it at the same time, pull the spoon out, and then make sure you fill it up to the top with a spoon out of it. So,
right. That actually might be the technique. I'll be trying it.
It's a fucking champion technique, mate. If you start doing that, you'll start winning even more games, mate. Easy. Easy. None of this Nesquik. Have you ever tried a Milo sponsorship out of curiosity?
No. Actually haven't.
You should give it a shot. Do you have any beverage sponsorships at all?
No, but I did get a care package from Shapes. So, the barbecue shapes and pizza shapes. Yeah, so I did get about 60 to 70 boxes of Shapes.
60 to 70 boxes of Shapes. Like the regular size boxes.
Yeah, the barbecue, the Vegemite, the pizza, cheese and bacon.
Are you kidding me? Dude, how'd that arrive at your door? Like a fucking massive box? Like a container?
Yeah, a huge ass box. Because I was on a current affair, and I was eating Shapes in the interview. So then they reached out after they must have seen it, and then they reached out. So just got a whole ass box of Shapes to my door, and probably haven't even smashed down half of them yet.
Really? How recent is that? Since being on a current affair?
It was. About 3 months ago. A bit more than 4 months.
So it's pretty fresh, man.
Yeah, about 3-4 months ago. Yeah.
What were you on a current affair for?
Just getting drafted to the league. So I was on the local news where I'm from before I went. It's called Win or something like that.
Yes, I've seen Win. Win 99.
Yeah, so I was on that. And then when I got back, they must have just caught up and just came to my house and recorded. It's still on current affair on YouTube and stuff like that. And then I was just eating Shapes and they all filming it and stuff, and then they just reached out. So Yeah, so that was cool, just getting a bunch of shapes and all that. But yeah,
That's
Milo
funny as.
sponsor. Yeah, that actually could be an idea.
Dude,
Yeah,
I reckon
could
you
be
need to
good.
be reaching out to Milo, put together some sort of marketing deck and say that, you go into the States, as, obviously your name, the Americans
Yep.
don't know it. You kind of want to bring that beverage to the American market. Bro, you've got such a good pitch. You've got such a good pitch there, man. A breakfast beverage. That's it.
Yeah, yeah,
Honestly,
literally,
man, you've
yeah,
got the best
literally.
pitch
It's a good
ever.
idea. It's a great idea.
Oh,
It
for
is.
sure. And then give him the GFreak technique of how you make a Milo. And
Yeah,
then like, that's
I
how
will
fucking,
actually.
that's how champions make it.
They need to chuck us on an ad. Chuck us on an ad and actually show it done properly.
I know. Actually, for people listening right now or watching on YouTube, because you guys can get the visuals on YouTube and comment there. Leave a comment in the comment section and just say how you guys make your Milo. And dare
That's a good
say,
one.
don't you dare say that you don't have Milos, okay? Because that is not on. That is not on.
Yeah.
I love a Milo. I definitely am a Milo person over Nesquik.
Yeah.
For sure. And it's the superior drink. Well, Nesquik's not bad for like a chalky milk, but I'd rather a Milo.
Yeah,
Rather
Milo. Yeah.
Because
100%.
you get in a good like bit of a malt flavor, and then you're also getting
Yep.
to like eat it as well. Like with Nesquik, it's just swallow. That's it.
Yeah.
Just drink it and
You
whatnot.
can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. So with NBA,
Yep.
how did you at what point did you think that holy shit, this can be the future for me?
It probably wouldn't have been until like I was invited to my first event.
Yep.
In Hong Kong. So like seeing myself, being one of the top Australian, New Zealand players and getting flown out. Like personally flown out, put in a 6-star accommodation, like amazing, like, and just seeing like the process of getting draft eligible. I think it was then I'm that close to actually getting selected. I think that was like the turning point, and that's sort of when I finished university. And I sort of like just was like, yeah, stuff this. I'm gonna just focus on this.
Yep.
Because I knew my brand was growing, and then if they were gonna select an Australian player, I knew I'd be that candidate. So I think it was just like 3 years ago, just seeing myself getting invited to my first event. Because I knew I'd make it eventually. I kept making that pool. I kept building my brand and kept doing more. So I knew I was going to get selected eventually. And it's only really just the start, honestly, for me. It's just a minor setback getting not selected this year, but I've got definitely more to plan and more, to go towards. Really, moving to the States is like the next option, which no one from that's basically showing how serious I really am for this 2K league.
Yep.
And how much, because I got stuck over there actually, when the season finished, because there was no flights back. And I was playing over there, I was still playing there for 2 months, and, I was playing like every night and stuff, and I was competing with these guys. And then I just know that, if I had a full couple months over there, I'd really be able to show, what I can do really. So,
How were you going in those 2 months when you're playing? Were you pipping them on the line towards the end of the 2 months?
Yeah, I just was, because I came in the league as a 6-man. So at the start of the season, I didn't get much game time. And then one of the players actually, 2 of them couldn't play. So I ended up subbing into a power forward position that I never really actually had the top elite level playing at. But we ended up making the playoffs. So it was actually a position that I was comfortable with it, but it wasn't like my number one position. So I came in playing that position, and we ended up making the playoffs when I'd never really even played that position, at least at that North American talent.
Yep.
So then on the 2 months when the season finished, I was playing center in my main position, and I was really proving myself at that position. But then I had to come home, so then I was playing. I was back here. So I just want to have a shot in the league at the position that I mainly play, and
Yep.
I want to play against it, because I know that I would do twice as good at that position that I was playing power forward. So
Yep.
yeah.
So what do you think in NBA 2K makes a good center from a great center?
I feel like the main ones, it's always stick still comes into it, but I feel like the main one is leadership and IQ as well. Having that basketball IQ really comes into it as well. And I feel like communication can just top everything. If you've got that communication, just in Call of Duty or anything like that, it puts you over the edge. Giving confidence in your teammates, being that leader. But definitely like stick still comes into it an IQ. But also, a lot of people at that level, a lot of people have that stick skill. So, being that leader, some people don't have that leadership skills.
Yep.
And having that like confidence outside of in and outside of games. So I feel like that puts someone over the edge being good and great.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like you said, like in Call of Duty as well, everyone can shoot straight, but it just comes down to the IQ of how good the player is itself in those individual like 1%ers. Yeah. And to winning a game, all the 1%ers add up at the end of the game to get the
exactly right. Yeah.
And if your team doesn't have those 1%ers or that good leadership happening, well then you can set yourself up for failure, and you may not be able to close out games, and fatigue, and you're missing shots when you should have been hitting these crucial moments and all that type of stuff. So, and caving into it, but it really is very cool. It's very cool, and it's a great eye opener for myself to understand how the 2K League works and whatnot. So, you're moving there in the next few months, and how long are you going to live there for?
Yeah, so I'm still working out that process, whether I go over and try and get eligible here first and then move over for the couple months before the draft, or just go over there straight away and just play in their tournaments and get eligible over there if that's even possible, because I'm an Australian citizen. But I'm looking to go. On I think the max you can go is a 3-month holiday visa. I think the P1 visas, if you're working over there, is very hard to get at the moment. So I know a holiday visa is a little bit easier to get. So I probably don't need any more than 3 months. I'm probably looking at about 2 to 3 months to go over there and just basically just grind it out. The 2K, I think the 2K League, if they saw something like that, they'd probably be able to help me out. They'd be able to, get some marketing and some content on that, that I'm going over and pursuing, like doing this like for a career basically. So they see like a huge jump for me to go over there. It'd be a pretty crazy dream of mine just to go over there and prove myself against the American players, once again. So, looking to go for a couple months, man. Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic. And so currently right now, is this your full-time job? Is this your primary income source?
No, so this is, I basically stream on Twitch at the moment as like a secondary source.
Yep.
But at the moment, I'm just basically just working full-time, and then afterwards just basically streaming. And then, so it's pretty hard to balance at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm just basically just working full-time during the day when I'm not doing much, just basically just racking up money. And then by then, just, from there, just, basically take a leap of faith and move overseas and go from there, and hopefully be in person when the draft happens as well. And then hopefully, because when I got drafted, I was here in Australia, and they didn't actually have an in-person draft because of COVID rules.
Yep.
So hopefully next year, with everything opening up again, they had an in-person draft season 1 and 2 where you actually get the hat selected, like put on your head, and the photo taken and all that. So I want to be there for that when that happens. So basically working full-time, man, and then just streaming on the side.
So what do you do for a full-time job right now for income?
Yeah, so actually I work in a technology department at a video game store basically.
Yep.
So I'm just a salesman, just selling PlayStation 5 games and PlayStations and Xboxes. So everything that I basically know of. So I just work in retail at the moment, and it's not too bad, pays the bills, and it's just it's something that I'm still interested in. Like I know I'm knowledgeable with a lot of games.
Yep. So
able to use that experience with customers and stuff like that. So I'm just doing that at the moment, and basically just doing that really.
Is 2K based on console, or is it on PC and with the controller? Or is it on keyboard and mouse?
Yeah, so it's based on the league. They got to deal with the PlayStation 5, so it's based on PlayStation 5 the last 2 years.
Yep.
Previously, it was based on PC, but with the controller, like Call of Duty are doing now.
Yep.
So it was on PC, and then they just plug a Xbox or PlayStation controller in. But the public don't actually have access to the game that they play. It's sort of it's not like COD where league play and rank play is what they play. It's they play 5v5 what we play here, but they play a modified version of it where some sort of stuff that's overpowered in the retail version of the game that we play here is not in the game to make it more balanced.
Yep.
So they've took out a lot of the overpowered things in the game and sort of made a more skill-based game mode, but it's not available for the public. It's just what you play in the league and what you watch.
Yeah, okay, I understand. It's like Call of Duty 4. Modern Warfare on console compared to on PC.
Yeah.
It's not modded, or it's modded to a degree and whatnot. There's more customization on PC as well. But also, if you have a league based on PCs, like with the Call of Duty League, I don't know if you know much about it, but there's a challenger scene as well. So I don't know if you guys, so I don't know if 2K has a challengers league, which is like the second division, but there's a lot of issues with people using wall hacks and all these type of aim hacks and soft hacks and all that type of shit. So you get all that shit coming through prior to it, which also, you know, it ruins other people's chances that are properly genuine for the league, which just shits me up the wall as well, because, you know, someone's out there, possibly, let's put you in the situation, someone's out there, you've spent all your money or however much money to get overseas and commit to it, and then you get shot down by some douchebag who's hacking, you know, and it just ruins your career.
That's the thing about the challenge. Yeah, I watched that quite a bit. The good thing about 2K is it's impossible to... It's basically almost impossible to hack, really, because it's all on console. I mean, you can sort of get like a Cronus, and then you wouldn't be able to really miss a shot.
It's sus.
But it's pretty... People would know if you have it, or a lot of people just don't do it because I don't think they take it as serious, maybe, as or they just... I don't think it's that possible, really, on 2K. So that's sort of the good thing compared to COD, where you can implement just a wall hack, where you can just see people through walls, which is crazy. It's very... Yeah, people do modded controllers and sort of that for 2K, which basically, they can't miss a shot, really. But it's actually rare to come by, really.
Yeah, I believe that a lot of people would get caught out straight away with that type of stuff. At least with COD, like, if you got walls, you kind of get caught. You don't really get caught straight away because they kind of look away and stuff. But 2K... everyone's seeing the kind of same screen. So if you're just dropping buckets, then it's fucking obvious.
It would be obvious if you weren't. I mean, some games you can. It depends what position, but you would know if they were hacking for sure. You would definitely know straight away.
Oh, for sure. And it's just dishonest, man. Like, you would have seen all the Warzone type of stuff and all the issues happening there.
Yeah.
Apex Legends had it a little bit, but I think Apex has stamped it out a lot, you know? But Warzone had it, and then they just bought out Ricochet, which has done nothing. It's been the biggest PR fail ever.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's just nuts, bro. It was just a fucking PR scam. Like, it's done absolutely nothing for the league. It's done nothing for the game.
Yeah,
it might, and they just do they do their monthly ban waves. It does absolutely nothing and disappointing. But moving on from that, where would you like to see the 2K League in the future, in the couple years' time? Would you want more Australian opportunities? What would make the perfect league for you right now, if it isn't already perfect?
Yeah, so I feel like a lot of things, like, nothing's always perfect. I feel like everything can always get better.
Yep.
I feel like they're going a good way about it, although they're really, expanding out to international players, because it's just so hard. In Call of Duty, you see it, in a lot of sports, you see it. I sort of want them to go in the way that sort of Call of Duty has gone. There's a team called the London Royal Ravens, and basically they're all international, or the Toronto Ultra team is pretty much all international players. I sort of, there's been international players that have been in the league and out of the league, just one of them. But I feel like a lot of international players would be more comfortable sometimes, especially with language barriers from China and EU, if they had just like international teams. And like, say, for example, like a European team, there was a European in the team league that came in last year, but there's only one European player in it. So like, if they would have like all European players in that team, they're all speaking, a different language, for example, or, they can all communicate in their language, might be easier for them. And, seeing that sort of diversity would be awesome. So even like an expansion APAC team would be incredible. If that was to ever happen, that would be insane. So yeah, I feel like they're going to go towards that in the future. I know that's the goal that they're looking towards, and hopefully that comes through eventually.
Fantastic. And let's say that someone came to you from Australia, New Zealand, or I guess anywhere in the world, and they've asked you for NBA2K advice of how to actually get drafted into the NBA2K camp. What are your recommendations?
I would just say, get your name out there as much as you can, network with a few people, connect with, some of the league players. I know that all their DMs are open, you can always talk to them. They're always like happily, to ask any questions.
Yep.
And I'd say streaming is like number one as well. Just like streaming your games, whether it's Park, Pro-Am, whatever you want, just getting your name out there is just by streaming. There's no point not streaming your games, honestly. You just might as well just show your talent and just stream and get your name out there. Honestly, it's probably the best advice I'd have to have for someone that's gone for the league.
Absolutely. It does seem like a very hard league to get into. Whilst there is 100 spots, and you said that 25 were cut down from the sixth man.
From no six man,
So now it's down to about, I guess, 75 or 70?
Yeah, 70, pretty much.
That's really rough, man. It's kind of like the COD League, I guess. They went from 18 or 16 teams down to 12, and then they were 5v5s, and now it's 4v4, and it's very limited. So I would imagine to break through into that league, it is extremely difficult, but not everything's impossible, obviously. And hopefully there's some backing to yourself for people, the community here, to gather around you, as well as the people over there to kind of back you with whatever networking skills you've established yourself with.
It's I feel like it's got a big future for international players. It already has had, we've had, a European drafted, an Australian like me in New Zealand. There's been quite many people that have been drafted. I just feel like they've just got to get over that hump and, get a few more expansion teams from overseas region, because they're nailing right now. They've basically got almost every NBA team besides, I think, the Phoenix Suns, the Spurs, and the Clippers. So they've pretty much got every NBA team involved. Just expanding to the overseas talent is probably their next step. Even women in gaming as well. They got their first few women players in the league, which is really good. So I feel like time will come. It's going to take a few years, but I feel like it's going to come fairly soon.
And blokes and chicks play in the same league, correct, for 2K?
Yeah. So we're all classified basically as one. I think there was two females. One played for the Celtics and one played for the Mavs, which is incredible for the league as well, because these girls can definitely, they got talent. So they just got to get that opportunity. So amazing.
That's something that sometimes I never understand, when it's just it's gaming. Chicks should just be in the same league. Sometimes there's leagues just for chicks and whatnot. And I guess it can be a little bit scary. It's like going to the gym for the first time if you're overweight. You're very conscious of how you look, how you communicate, how you play, and whatnot. Same as in the gym, how you look, how you lift the weights, how you do your things. If it's gaming, there's no physical advantage. It's just that thing where it really would be good if chicks can step it up, like how in the 2K League, that they're accepted and whatnot, because it really is great to diversify it as well. But also, from a money point of view, to franchise that you have one chick on your team, it just kind of rallies. So there's two teams with one girl each. You've got automatically just a female audience that would want to watch them.
Exactly right.
You've rallied them in. You've rallied them in.
I remember those games. They definitely had female audiences wanting, because they want to see them play. Same as the international players. And all the Australian boys wanting to watch, and the league are doing a great job with it. They've got a women in gaming camp that they fly out the girls to New York City and do play there, and the scouts are all there. So they are growing that scene 100%. It's just I think with removing the six man was a big. I'm not too sure why they did it. But that was a big factor, I feel like, with international money. And I feel like with international and female players, it's a big one, because a lot of the international and female players took up those six-man roles, and now that there's no six-man in the league, it's just a lot tougher for us international and women in gaming to get drafted. But I feel like they're going to find a way to get a push for women in gaming international players in the future, whether that's expansion teams or whatnot. So
absolutely. So what does the NBA 2K League contract look like? How big are we talking? You're over there for so many months. Surely there's some sort of decent wicket that you can provide an answer with.
No, so basically it's just over basically a year contract realistically. But I wasn't there for a year because I was stuck getting over there. So I was there for about 5-6 months, around about that, 7 months. It's a rough contract of around, for that time, about $40,000 USD.
Yep.
So just over, close to 50, 60 AUD, around ballpark, something around that.
Yep.
But with a $1 million prize pool to be won throughout the season with 4 different tournaments. That's just divided up per tournament. This year in the league, they jumped it up to $2 million prize pool. So, yeah, it's basically just split throughout playoffs. There's 4 different tournaments, the playoffs at the end, a tip-off tournament at the start of the year, a turn tournament, which is sort of like a pick and ban. So they did it on Call of Duty a few years ago where you pick and ban.
That. Yeah.
Yep, so they do that in 2K as well with archetypes. So there's 5 positions on the court, point guard to center, but there's different builds, like different point guard. One can shoot better, for example. One can dunk better, so you can pick and ban in that tournament with that one.
Yep.
And then there's the ticket tournament where teams that didn't clinch a playoff spot can fight for a playoff spot into the playoffs. So that's a cool tournament as well. So,
yeah, that's dope as.
Yeah. And that's $1 million to $2 million on the line this year on top of the regular salary that that you paid. So yeah, quite a bit of money involved if you succeed. Yeah,
that's dope, man. It's dope. The crazy part about it though is that the first time I kind of came across 2K was when I literally started this new job back in November. So where's the marketing for it? Like I barely see it here in Australia. Was it different in America? Like was it marketed everywhere at every game and all that type of stuff, or on TV ads, or what's the go?
It's mainly all on Twitch and YouTube. It was on ESPN2 in the United States.
Yep. So
it was actually on like paid television at some point. It is marketed more over there just because it's a North American league. So it was, I know a few teams, I know the Warriors had at their arena, like the billboard that moves, that changes. I know they advertise that a lot, the 2K League. I know the Warriors Gaming Squad did a lot. I know Detroit Pistons did it quite a bit. Just depends on which team. But it is promoted through the NBA as well. I just think in Australia, it's not marketed that big or that well just because it's, I was the only Aussie drafted. I think that's when it sort of kicked off when I got drafted, but I haven't seen much in the last couple months of it. But hopefully it expands in the future in this region particularly.
Fantastic. And so have you met the people that have created 2K and whatnot? The 2K games and Ronnie 2K and all that type of stuff?
I've had a few Zooms with him when I was over there. Yep. I'm actually, while I'm back here, I actually am partnered with 2K, so I'm a 2K Next Maker. So I do stuff for the game as well and give feedback onto the game and stuff like that. So I represent the Australian region in that. There's a few of us, I think about 3 or 5 of us. So I represent the 5v5 side of things, the prime competitive side. So I'm doing that. So I'm in contact with some people from 2K. But yeah, Ronnie, I never met him, but I had a Zoom with him. He's a cool guy. So yeah, we did definitely give feedback on the game and stuff like that. So it's a pretty cool opportunity and it does a potential to grow in our region for sure.
Oh, for sure, man, for sure. And so where do you see your career going with this within, everything changes so much, but where do you see yourself in the next, we'll say 2 to 5 years with 2K? Yeah. Like, are you going to be casting, analyzing on the desk, playing? What are your goals?
Honestly, my goals right now are, I had one season in the league and, I ended up playing 18 games. I played the most out of any 6-man in the league, made the playoffs. So I felt like it was a pretty successful season for my first rookie year. So, I want more of that. Basically, I want to play my main position in the league. So I do see myself playing, if I get drafted next year, for at least, I'd like to play for at least 3 years. I'd probably play for 3, 4, 5 years, maybe longer. It really depends how I felt like after couple years. I feel like I can play for that long. But I'd love to eventually, not sure how long, I would love to become a part of the league, whether it be some representation from Australia, marketing, social media, anything to do with the league. I'd love to do it. I did a 4-year sports management business degree at university. So I feel like that would come align with working in a sports management industry like the NBA2K league. I feel like I could benefit a lot to that league, at least bring, the Australian, my experience here. I feel like I'd give a really good insight to the 2K league. So I'd love to just work with them in general in the next couple of years for sure, if I wasn't a player. Absolutely.
And so is the opportunities there that do they offer those opportunities and those pathways within the league?
Yeah.
Or okay, fantastic.
Well, yeah, so a lot of new coaches in the league have come from former players just because, they're the ones playing the game, they'd be ideal candidates. So a lot of the new coaches in the league have been previous players. A few GMs have been previous players. I know a player from the I think it was the Cavs that is now the social media manager for the league. So a lot of the previous players have gotten jobs in the league. They can trust them. They know who they are. They've played in the league. They've seen what they're like in the workplace. So there is career paths. You just got to find the right, path to choose, and it's just got to line up with timing, really, if there's an opportunity involved.
Yeah, that's great. So it's good to see that they're really wanting to support you guys and keep you guys in the league as long as possible and assist when they can. It's really a positive industry that you're part of, which is great. It's a great, I guess it's a workforce, it's a great workforce to be part of and a great culture that you guys have going on in there in the 2K league.
It's amazing, man. Yeah, it's so supportive, just the staff from Brendan to everyone just involved. Have been, especially to the international players, because they know how hard it is to get drafted, and they've just made up such a good pathway. I know they can improve on it, but they've made such a great pathway so far for us, inviting us overseas to play, against our region and the rest of the APAC region. So they've done all that, and they're just going to continue to grow. So yeah, can't thank the staff enough for what they've done for me and the rest of the players so far.
Fantastic. If you guys are the staff listening right now, make sure to leave a spot open for MILO if he ever does want to hang up the sticks, okay? He needs to be there. GM or commentator, analyst, I'm not sure. But so you mentioned that the games are streamed on YouTube or Twitch. Is it just on like NBA2K and that's it?
Yeah, so it's on it's youtube.com/ or twitch.com/NBA2K League, one word.
Yep.
It's streamed there. It's usually streamed around 8 to 12 p.m. for our time, roughly, around the morning time zone. And it's basically on every week pretty much, from about, I think it's around Tuesday to Saturday, really. So they do have bye weeks, but pretty much, every week around 8 to, depending where you're from in Australia, but around from 8 to 12 Melbourne time, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not a bad time slot then. It's
not a bad time to watch. Yeah. If I'm not at work, I'm always watching. Even at work, sometimes I'm just chucking on the computer.
For sure. Like a lot of full-time guys that and girls that are streaming over here as well, they always start at 6 o'clock and go through till about 4 o'clock or whatever. That's the prime spot as well. It's such a, like, it really does cater to, like, if you're over here, it really does cater to working the actual full-time job. So you're not having to do these stupid hours like you have in America, which is 10 p.m. until fucking 4 a.m. and shit. Like, stuff that, man. It's not good. It's not good. But what are some content things that you've been thinking of or ideas, if you would like to share, that you see going forward for yourself to grow your brand? Because for me personally, looking at it, like, I'd be asking, as hard as it may be, asking like 2K players to verse you in 1v1s, or even do some videos with actual NBA players or things like that, if that's possible, like playing the game or even shooting some hoops with them, if possible. Doing that sort of content. I don't know what they have going on for any teams. I genuinely haven't looked at it. But is that some of the things that you've been thinking of or working on, or what's the plan?
I actually haven't thought about that in particular. I know like a few retired players do play NBA2K, and I have like a league, like a logo in game, and some of the ex like NBL players in the game have like a basketball logo, so they've played NBL, and I've actually played with them a few times on the game. So if I keep working with them and stuff, you hopefully could link something up and make a video out of that, even if it's in person or online. So that's a really good idea that you just gave me then. But mainly just sort of getting out content when I'm overseas. So like vlogging the trip, when I get there, settling in and stuff, really making an effort that this is something that I really want to do. And then when I'm there, just versing the best players in the world and making content out of it, showing that, I'm playing against these players. Just being that number one candidate, just so, I basically, can't get denied next year. That's basically the main thing, really, man, just getting out, playing the best talent in the world. So then they know, look, there's no risk on drafting me, really. So
absolutely. So possibly getting down to like an NBL game, for example. Like, I know Callum Dalton and Anthony Drimmick, he's part of the Chiefs as well. I played COD with those boys, and I actually had Callum on the podcast about a month ago. Big fucking unit. Big unit. It's like 7'2".
I think I was watching it. Yeah.
Big unit, bro. But if you went to one of those games and just vlogged it and then saw, like, somehow got in touch with one of those guys or whatever and just did some sort of content with him, on whether that be on the game itself or whoever you know in the NBL league itself as well, you could kind of build some hype and some cool league stuff around here.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah.
And I think that would be huge, especially now in the off season. They don't play till August or September or whatever that is. So something like that, man, like that's an idea for you to start shooting some IRL content. I find personally that a lot of clips and stuff in game don't really do much, man. Like people are like, oh, whatever. Like there's so many fucking clips, bro. You kind of want to be getting those like 40-year-old, 50-year-old mums and dads like watching your shit as well, because that will really drive your views and whatnot. So if you can get some sort of IRL content doing horse or doing trick shots or whatever with some sort of NBA play, if you, I don't know your shooting capability in real life, but I'm assuming it's good because you play.
Not too bad.
Yeah, there we go. I'm assuming it's good, but if you do some sort of challenges with these guys, even if it's not even basketball, you're doing some sort of trick shot thing with a frisbee on a basketball court, you know? Just that sort of content. If you could somehow do that, I know it's extremely hard. I'm thinking really outside of the box here, but if you could do that, that'd be huge, man. That would be absolutely fucking huge, man.
It's a really good idea. I actually haven't thought about that, like, outside the game sort of stuff. It's definitely something that I feel like I can, get involved in, for sure. And I'm really gonna think about that one now. That's a great idea.
You know what a good idea might be as well? Thinking out loud, and act on it fast, because whoever's watching this podcast, they might snap it up too. But one thing that you could do is have like a mini gaming series where you verse someone one-on-one and you do like a quick like 10-minute podcast with a player from the NBL league. So you're playing. So you're just sitting there on a couch, for example, and you've got each other you've got it mic'd up. You've got 3 cameras, one on both of yours, and then you've got 2 on one on individuals, and then you've got one on the game as well. And pretty much you interview the person whilst you're playing 2K, and you go from there. And that's kind of how you build your own little series up.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You do your own little 10-minute podcast. That's it. You work with a specific team out there. You're based in Melbourne, so contact Melbourne United or whoever else is based in Melbourne. I'm not familiar with the NBL league. And you just go from there, man. You kind of advertise them, but they'll be helping you more than you're helping them to a degree. But it goes both ways, because when you go overseas, they'll really support you. They'll back you. And you'll bring that brand awareness to the NBL, because we need that a lot here, which is not as big as the NBA, obviously, and it's not as big as the AFL or NRL. So that's kind of the pitch that I'd be going to them with. And you'd probably get someone to help source you, make a nice marketing deck for yourself, and go from there. That's how you'd kind of market yourself, because I don't know any other 2K players apart from you, and I doubt that any of them are probably going to be stealing these ideas because of the fact that they'll be just wanting the game. But if you've got that extra edge on top of them, like a video series like this, bro, you'd fucking pop off. I can guarantee it. Guarantee it, man.
It's a great idea. It's something that it's a really good insight that you gave me, that, because it's something, I'm always thinking in game. I am thinking out of game a little bit, but really connecting with these NBL players is actually a really good idea. So that's actually something I'm going to work on for sure.
For sure, man. Have you ever watched a guy called, I spoke about this on my podcast yesterday, which was last week for people listening. Because these are released every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. So stay subscribed, everyone. Notification bell on. But have you ever heard of a guy called Chris Smoove?
Yeah.
Fucking goat. I love him, man. Do you obviously watch his 2K stuff? I don't watch his 2K stuff since he turned off COD. But do you ever watch him?
I used to always watch him back in like 2K 15, 16. Like literally 4 years ago. I haven't watched him for about a year. But he was the main man. He still is. He still is the main. Like his videos he's like just everything. He loved it. He absolutely loved it. He's like classic.
He had the best sound effects and whatnot. But I know that one of his most watched videos was like abusing claymores on Favela MW2. But his other video, he did like it was the first time you ever saw his face as well. And he did. Really? He did a video with Tony Parker. Tony Parker was a player for
Spurs.
Spurs.
Yep.
He did a video with him playing 2K. It was sick ass.
Oh, really?
So if you go on to Chris Smoove's page right now and just get a bit of inspiration from that was about 10 years ago, that video. If you go onto his page, watch one of his most top things, or just search Chris Smoove versus Tony Parker, bro.
Yep.
Get some inspiration from that, man. Have a look what works for him. I know that with him, he used to, I don't know if he still does it or not. I haven't seen him for years. I'm still subbed, but I just don't watch his stuff. But what he would do is he'd play like 2 games. He'd have NBA, he'd play, but then he has like this player mode where you walk around a city and stuff and get dressed up and haircuts. I don't know what he was playing. And I think that's now in the game as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
See, he literally changed the way the game is built by doing that stuff. He inspired developers by doing that.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, he's crazy. Yeah.
It's nuts, man.
He's a massive influence on, he's started it all. Yeah. It's, his videos were just golden. Too good.
Is there anyone in the space that you take inspiration from or you look up to?
I look up to a lot of not necessarily, I mean, like the YouTubers, like they give, but it's more like the actual pro players, to be honest, that have been in the league since the start, for like the last like 4 years, just because they've got such like league experience and veteran experience, and that's what I want to do eventually, once I get like my full opportunity to play in the league, hopefully next year. Just seeing these players, been just watching them the last 4 years, and just like that's how I base my game off. I have my own play style, but I use things from different people's games. So those players in the league, Walnut, Ramo, just these names. If they watch the broadcast, looked up for them for years. So just those sort of professional players in the league. Outside of the league in NBA, I was like a big Trailblazer fan. I love Damian Lillard. It was a good inspiration. Good guy. I know he came down to Melbourne recently. Tried to get to that, but couldn't make it to that. But I think those guys are the big inspirations in my life, I feel.
Yeah, fantastic. And that would have been a good experience to go see Damian and whatnot.
Amazing. Yeah.
But even just like going to the NBL coming up this season, are expenses are tickets pretty expensive at the NBL? Like courtside or never been? They brought the NBL down to my where I live once for like exhibition games, like quite a few teams, but I've actually never been to an NBL game in the city. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I've been NBA and all that sort of stuff, multiple NBA games. Actually never been to an NBL game in I can't remember the arena what it's called, but in Melbourne.
It would be John Cain
Arena. I've actually never been to an NBL game, I don't think, top of my memory. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I wonder how much tickets are. Are tickets expensive from when you went to the local one near you?
It wasn't actually that expensive. I think it was like $20-$30.
Yeah, okay. So that'd be about cheap. 60 odd, I reckon.
Yeah. Probably about $60-$50. Just because I'm an hour and a half away. It's not really that. It's sort of like, it's that, but it's like, I don't know, like I'd rather watch NBA or once you go to an NBA game, like NBL's still good, but it's not, I don't think it interests me as much as going, but I definitely do want to go. I've got a few friends that do want to go. It just have to be the right game, like United versus like a good team that I want to watch or something like that.
Hey, well, let me know when you want to go. I'll sit courtside with you, okay?
Yeah, done.
I'll be the GFreak. I'll be dressed up as a GFreak, okay? We'll go courtside. I'll yell out, Callum, and he'll give us fist bumps, okay? It'll be sick. We'll go.
The content idea for sure.
Yeah, that'd be a good content idea too. Just vlog that. That'd be pretty dope.
Nah, for sure, man, for sure. I do need to go for sure. When I will go eventually, I feel.
The season's coming up, so we can definitely go. I can get something organised for us and see how we go with it and go from there, because I know that you love NBA and NBL. I love watching basketball. I don't know. It's never like actually thought about going to an NBL game. I don't know why. Probably because of the distance. Because I'm like an hour 45 away. That's fair enough, man. You don't want to be after a game they finish late. You don't want to be driving home from the city and all that type of bullshit, man. Conquering that, going down the freeway and whatnot. There's nothing. The Calder. I think you're in the Calder down that way. Where you're based, but there would be nothing worse. It's literally, bad enough catching the train, bro.
Yeah, the train's not too bad, but it's still a pain in the ass sometimes. If I go to Melbourne, I'm usually down for a couple days and I'm getting in an Airbnb or something. I hate coming back and forth. So
there's nothing worse, brother. There's honestly nothing worse. But that'd be a pretty dope event to go to. But I've got another question for you. What's something that you've done to make yourself stand out from the crowd in this region?
I feel like mainly I was one of like the original. I mean, like talking 2K16, so you're talking 4, 5, 6 years ago, almost like a long time. I was like one of the like OGs realistically. So I sort of like was one of the first like 10 players in Pro-Am, I want to say. I remember when Pro-Am, when 5v5 first became a thing in 2K16, there was 2 or 3 teams, which would have been 15 players, which is crazy, competitive. So there was like 15 players, and I was a part of that 15. So I've been around since the very start in this region. So like, I feel like that helped me out a lot, being one of the original players, having like respect from that. But I feel like I'm one of the probably like couple players in the server that stream. Like, I mean, a few people stream, but not many people stream, which doesn't really make that much sense to me. So I've been streaming the last like couple years.
Yep.
And just really like branding myself on Twitter and networking. I feel like a lot of players don't really do that, whether they're not taking it serious or they just, I don't know, really. I feel like, network quite a bit and just, promote my gameplay and myself outside of game. So like, not just promoting my profile as MILO, like promoting myself. So like putting my face out, like face cams or uploading like photos of me, like when I was in the States or just here, just like, growing my brand just like as me and like not just like my gaming character or whatever. So actually because people don't want to just see that. They want to see like who you are and stuff like that. So I feel like those are some of the strategies that I used to sort of build my brand out.
Absolutely. And do you feel pressure doing what you're doing to perform, to consistently be one of the best, to outperform others, to stand out, to create this extra content, with the pressures coming in from, probably externally from other people and whatnot, influencing how your decision making outside of gaming as well?
There's definitely a lot of pressure. There was pressure being, that international player in the league, especially being the only person from Australia. So like you're carrying the region on your back to perform well. Otherwise, they're not going to draft. So I felt like I played well. I made the playoffs. No international player in 4 years has done it. It was a good achievement in my eyes. So that was a lot of pressure. When I got back here, I feel there's always like pressure to perform well and stuff, but it's just a lot of workload and a lot to jumble, especially when you're working full time.
Yep.
But I have a lot of confidence in what I can do, so I'm pretty confident in that aspect that I can prove to the world what I've got. So the pressure it is there, but I feel like I can overtake it for sure.
You're frosty, very frosty.
Yeah.
Out of all the 2K, I've gone full 2K this session. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Out of all the 2Ks that have been out there, what is your favorite one? What's the best one so far since like 2K10, for example?
My personal favorite would have been 2K16, 17, or 19.
Yep.
16 just because it was the first ever one, so it was new. It was like playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 for the first time. Like amazing maps. I loved same things like that. Like 2K16, first ever main one that I really took sort of serious, and just loved it. 17 was good as well. Sort of got into the 5v5 aspect into that game a lot, so that's why that's on the list. 18 was good, but it was a bit of a drop off, and then 19 I felt was the perfect game for 5v5, just balance wise, like not much overpowered stuff until someone found an exploit towards the end of the game with about a month left, where you couldn't get ripped up the court, like you couldn't steal the ball off the ball handler. But besides that, it was a great game. I enjoy, to be honest, I buy them all year. I play it every day. I enjoy all of them, but they're probably the 3 games that I enjoyed the most. So I'm very looking forward towards 2K23 in 2 months' time.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Do you ever go get any exclusive like creator launches that happen there, or any exclusive airtime being a creator when these
I haven't actually so far, because this is my first year being a partner with 2K, coming back from the league. So I haven't heard anything just yet, but maybe potentially, hopefully, I might hear something in the next couple of months, because that would be pretty cool. Because I know they are testing the game in the United States at the moment. So whether Australia gets it early, I'm not too sure, but that would be a cool experience. So hopefully get in contact soon about that. That'd be awesome.
I reckon you should start pushing to 2K and just say, hey, is there any way we can create some content together, like with 2K themselves? If you have that content, that contact there and whatnot, just start pushing that, man. Like, content is fucking king at the end of the day.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
To be able to do that would be huge. With 2K, obviously with Call of Duty, with my background there, knowing that really well,
Yep.
there's different editions of the game that you buy. Is there different editions of the game that you buy with 2K and whatnot? Does it come with special things, or what's the game?
Yeah. So it's so there's 3 different editions usually, or 2 every year. They just change on depending what you get involved. So usually some come with just the game itself. Some just come with it's called VC, which is virtual currency, which is coins, sort of like COD points, where you can upgrade your player, buy clothing, etc. And then there's a new edition that came out this year that comes with the 2K League NBA League Pass. Yep. So if you buy the most expensive edition, you get the 12-month subscription of the League Pass NBA. So yeah, they come with different editions. Some get different clothing in the game, different stuff like that. So there's quite a few different number of editions. So not too sure which one I'm going to get this year. So yeah, looking forward to it though. Very, very excited.
Hey, if I was you, I would not be paying for any of that shit. They should be sending that to you, bro.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully get a code for that. I would say so. So yeah, fingers crossed. I'd say so. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, man. Hey, I know that some of my friends, they do the little bit of an exploit here, but with, I think it's Sportsbet, they actually, like, all you have to do to get the league pass is you deposit $5. And all they do is just deposit $5 and you can have the league pass for the full year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you don't even have to bet. Don't even have to bet. You might have to put one bet on or one bet a month on, but yeah, $5. That's
not
it.
Too bad.
Minimum deposit, $5 into Sportsbet. Bang. This is not a paid advertisement to Sportsbet either, ladies and gentlemen, and gamble responsibly as well, because if children are listening, then gamble responsibly, please. But it's quite interesting. People find a will. When there's a will, there's a way, mate. It's fucked.
Yeah. Pretty much.
That's chalked us, man.
That's crazy.
Are you friends with, was it Mike Vulturous or AK or anyone from the Chiefs?
Yeah. So I'm good friends with Mike. I've known him since 2012.
Okay.
So I played Black Ops 2 league play with him. I met him in a league play game, and he used to be from Melbourne. He just moved, and we all became friends. We're all from Melbourne. I'm from outside of Melbourne, but yeah, all became friends. Met up with him so many times. And just went up. I actually was just at the Chiefs' house for about 2 months, a month ago.
Were you?
I was up there. Yeah,
must have just missed you, man.
Yeah, I was up there. I came up there, I don't know, about 2 months ago, and I was streaming up there some 2K and just catching up with Mike. So yeah, good friends with him. Met Aiden and Nick up there as well. So yeah, all good blokes. And yeah, I was trying to get to that party that you guys were throwing.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to get to that.
What happened, mate? I didn't fucking see you.
I was trying to get to that party, and I just couldn't get there in time. So
it was expensive, mate.
I watched your vlogs.
Yeah.
It looked insane. The Red Bull and everything, and Mike was showing me. I was planning, and then last minute I had to pull out. So
it's fair enough, man. Shit happens.
But it looked good. It looked sick, man.
I was so unwell after that party, bro. Oh my god, dude.
How long did you stay for? Did you go up for a few nights?
I went on Friday. I came up in Friday morning, and I got to the house at 11 a.m. And then I left at 7 p.m. on Sunday night.
Oh, yeah.
But dude, I was Sunday morning. I threw up 9 times, bro. It was not fucking good at all. It was no good. Yeah, as soon as I got home, AK's missus and his sister took me home. Yeah. And I was very thankful for that. And it was 7 minutes away, the place that I was staying at.
Oh yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
And I was in the shower and just bang. One there, and then 3 more in the dunny that night, and then I went to sleep, and then woke up in the morning. 1 there, a couple more there, and dude, it was the worst, man. It was the fucking worst. I'm like, nah, I'm never going to be like this again. So maybe 8 vomits next time.
That's crazy. Yeah, it looked awesome.
That was bad.
And yeah, from what I saw on the page and stuff.
It was so fun, man. It was the best time ever, bro. It was fantastic. It was put together really well, and I had a great time. Like the night before, when we were planning and getting stuff ready, it was great. Got a little bit sunburnt because I'm so fucking white. And then the Saturday of the sesh, it was unreal. It was great to have the drone flying around, the doors open, the simulator, everyone there, the tack toys shooting people and stuff. it was a great night. It was a great night to be part of, and yeah, it was great to network with a lot of people as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And just make some new mates in the space and whatnot. Introduce yourself properly, and it was really good, man. It was really good. I'm surprised that I don't think I ever saw, unless I did and I just liked it. Everything Chiefs puts up I like. But was there any fucking photo of you from the Chiefs house?
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
I must have just liked it and kept scrolling, or it just didn't come up on my feed. Because you know how Twitter doesn't do a good feed anymore.
Yeah, it was. It would have been about 2 months ago. Yeah, because I was there for like 4 nights or something like that.
Yep.
I think I was there. Yeah. So it was. Yeah, they put up a photo. I think when I left. So I was on there. Yeah, good mates with Volt. So
did they put it up on the Instagram?
No, just on the Twitter page.
Just on Twitter. Oh, I'm not going to scroll through that. If you find it, link it to me, because
I'll link it to you. Yeah,
link it to me, man, because I probably have liked it, or I just haven't seen it on the Twitter thread, because Twitter for some reason changed the algorithm of their homepage. It's pretty chalked now. Like, you've got to click the star at the top, and it shows like latest or home. Yeah, I'm like, dude, why is there 2 fit? Like, it's just chalked everything. Even when you post a Twitch link, you've got to put your links, or any sort of link. Yeah, you have to put your links in the comments. It's like, what the hell, man? Like, otherwise it just doesn't push it. It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen man. But that's them just trying to get platform superiority.
Pretty much
over all the other platforms, which sucks, and it hurts us a fair bit, man. But look, man, before we head off, is there anything else that you'd like to discuss, talk about, share with others that are listening right now? Anything, man?
No, not really. I think I'm just gonna probably just see me streaming, or keep pushing for the league. Basically, next upcoming draft in March, and you'll probably whoever's watching this, track my journey if you want. Be in the States the next couple of months. We'll officially announce that in the next couple of weeks. Just pushing for this goal of mine, just to be in the league consistently. I know I have the talent. I know I proved it the last season. It was just unfortunate, basically. I'm just going to keep pushing, and hopefully see how that goes.
Absolutely, man. We got to get that content going, mate. Get that content, get that different content. And bro, look Chris Smooth, man. Plays video games with
great
all these other people and stuff, dude. Take some inspiration from him, source it up to yourself. Look at TikTok and see how they do inspiration there, and you can just build your brand from there, man.
That's a platform I need to get onto. I don't actually have. I deleted that because I was watching too much of it.
Yeah.
So I don't actually have the app anymore, but it's a great idea for content.
Well, just to get inspiration from there, and then post reels on your Instagram or something, man. Go from there and start boosting your brand that way through a different avenue.
It's a great idea.
And whatnot. If you have Instagram, do you have Instagram?
Yeah, I have
for your gaming, or just use it?
Oh no, just like a personal one, but I do promote my gaming on it still. So.
All right, no worries. Yeah. So everyone, where can we find you on your socials, man?
Twitter. My Twitter's MILO, and my Instagram is Mace with three A's. So I can link it in the comment section or anything like that. So you're sure to find me there.
Sweet, man. I'll chuck all your links in the bio below in the comment section and whatnot. But dude, it's been a pleasure having you on board. Myself and all the listeners and watchers on YouTube. Wish you all the best of luck for when you pursue your journey overseas and travel over there in the next, I guess, when this is posted. This isn't posted this week, but it's next week. So it'll be those couple of weeks. So you've made your announcement and whatnot, but it's going to be exciting, man. Very exciting. And we wish you all the best of luck, man.
I appreciate you having me, Jacko. Yeah, loved it. Love your podcast. And I love watching. I've been watching different ones. It's been good. Hawaii's was funny. I loved it.
Howie, Howie's a pisser, man.
Howie. When his dad walks in, I love that.
I
was trying to find that clip after I watched yours.
Oh, you were trying to find it?
I was messaging. Have you found the clip?
It's on my Instagram for GFreak Speaks.
Yes, I'm trying to find the
So go to Instagram at GFreak Speaks, and then scroll down in the reels and find the one with him. It's one of those 3 that each episode I would do 3 clips, so it looks tidy on the grid, and it's there. That's the clip. It's so funny, bro.
I love it. Yeah,
and I can DM you some clips afterwards. He's a really good guy. He means well. And whatnot. Awesome. And it's good to see that he's steered his life back on the right track and kind of known where the issues were lying, which is with gaming, and the community was toxic, and they were taking advantage of how kind-hearted and how vulnerable he was because he didn't understand sarcasm. sarcasm because of his disability and stuff. He's just a slow learner. But it's good to see that now he's kind of pocketed himself into a good little rut with his gym and his work in real estate and whatnot. And, you know, he's finally getting himself on track, which is good for him.
For sure.
He means well. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening and tuning in. Make sure to leave a like on the YouTube video. Give it a 5 stars if you haven't already on Spotify, Apple, or wherever the hell else you're listening to this at. If you want to look at all the other links, audioboom.com/GFreak speaks. But that's going to do it for today's episode. We'll see you guys on the next one. Remember to be safe, stay swell. And as always, boom baby.